YouTube has over 2 billion viewers every single month. So if you are thinking of creating a video strategy for YouTube, then keep watching for our tips on how to do that. Literally, it's one of the best ways to target new audiences. First of all, it's owned by Google, so it makes the targeting very granular. It's great for remarketing on other platforms, so it works really well with any other social media activities that you're doing. And literally, hours and hours of video are added every single day with viewers of all different ages from all across the world using the channel, not just to look at how-to videos and music videos. It's come on a long way over the years, and people are using it to find new content every day and share new content. That's why if you want to reach new audiences, YouTube would be a great route to market for you to find new audiences and get those converted online.
One of the best ways of communicating your brand message, your brand story, is by the use of video. It's a little bit easier, a bit quicker. You can pick up the passion a lot more than perhaps other forms of communication. I'm not saying that other forms are not right, but video is just a really good way of doing it, particularly on YouTube. And I think the thing with YouTube is it's also a platform that allows people to be very, very authentic, because you kind of show the real you as an individual, as a business, as a brand. So that gives you a really unique place to start from. Brands who communicate an authentic brand story, something that resonates with people, the truth of what they're about, what the values are, the values that hold dear, all those things can come across really, really well by utilising video on YouTube, and people can resonate with it much more. Sometimes it's more difficult to do that in other forms of communication, because you don't always pick up those subtle nuances. So if you're a brand that's got a really clear vision, a really clear story, really clear message, video is a great way of getting that across, especially on YouTube.
So in terms of a YouTube first strategy, who is your target audience? Have you identified a target audience? How do you find your target audience? So what you initially need to do is outline your ideal customer profile. Do you even have a customer profile? If not, you have to realise that while you might think everyone wants to buy your product or everyone wants to try your service, there's definitely people that are out there that aren't, and there's definitely going to be age groups that don't also fit into your ideal customer profile. So you're going to have to start by narrowing this down, and it doesn't have to be, women aged 40 to 50. It can still be broad, and what we would definitely recommend is go in, when you're advertising on YouTube, go in with a broader audience, and then from there we can let the campaign test and learn, and then we can start by narrowing down your audience. And sometimes what we have actually found with clients is that the audience that is the most successful on YouTube is not actually who they thought their ideal customer profile was. So it's very important to have your ideal customer profile in mind when you're starting advertising on YouTube, but just be mindful that this might not be what it is when your campaigns are successful. So if you are interested in a YouTube first strategy, then please get in touch and I would be happy to help.
YouTube has offered so many people such a great avenue for what is known as inbound marketing. Now this is the way in which a consumer will find your brand. So they'll typically find or have a problem, and they'll research this problem, identify what it is, and then they'll go out and search for competitors to see who's giving them the best offer and the best deal around that. Now YouTube guides that customer every single step of the way, so making sure you have this channel down to a T is so important. Whether it's identifying a problem, you can run a YouTube ad that shows the problem that you're trying to solve and will get the cogs in your consumer's brain turning. The second part, learning more information, providing information to consumers is so essential, and making sure that you're fully informing them and making sure that they're fully aware of all the different aspects and paradigms to whatever problem you may be facing can occur. Additionally, you can see what your competition are doing, and you can market your relevancy or your content surrounding this. And obviously YouTube has such a great platform for comparing and contrasting videos through its recommended system, as well as through how Google's backend works with finding these videos and finding the bits of content, and even to the point where with targeting you can layer your targeting down onto other competitors' videos. And then the final point, which is something that's not usually covered, is that follow-up, that remarketing. Oftentimes, you know, if you work with a business, they may send a thank you email or a follow-up letter saying, how did we do? With YouTube, you can really build that constant connection and that feedback through the comment section and through content, and you can massively upweight and up value your brand and the stock that it provides.
So another thing that you need to know about YouTube advertising strategies is the type of video content that you create. So let's say you defined your message. Well, now you need a vehicle to communicate that message, and that vehicle is going to be your YouTube video ad. So what are the different types of formats can you do? Well, you can do an explainer video, you can do a sponsored influencer video, you can do DIY tutorials, interviews, standard commercials, literally anything. But how do you know which one of those to pick? Well, there's two ways you can do it. You can either do it through market research to see what sort of videos your audience is already watching, and you can also do A/B testing. So A/B testing is a process of putting out different versions of the same strategy and finding out which one works best. So in terms of doing this with YouTube, you'll create multiple different YouTube ads, see which one's working better, and then focus all your efforts on the one that's performing best. And because YouTube is pay-per-click, that means you're not having to waste your budget on videos that aren't working. You can put it all into a video that does work, that you've tested, that you know works, and that will get you the leads that you want.
So now that you've got your strategy in place for YouTube, you've got to put this thing into production. And so there's a couple of options that you've got. Obviously, you can do things in-house if you have the right staff and team to be able to do that, or you might want to consider outsourcing, and it doesn't really matter. But there's 3 P's that are going to be super important as you think through where are we going with this. The first is production. How are we going to get it made? The next is promotion. What are we promoting it? Where are we promoting it? And the third is placement. Who are we targeting? Specifically, where do we want to be? Who do we want to be in alignment with as we're putting this out there? So on the production side of things, you can do everything as simple as, you know, with my phone to a full-on, you know, studio setting. Really depends on what it is that what your brand is standing for, what you're trying to come across. I was actually watching YouTube TV the other day and I saw a full-blown cartoon ad, and I can't imagine they spent more than $250 on this ad on Fiverr. I've done similar things myself. So the production piece can be all over the gamut. You just got to determine what is it that you're trying to say. And the big thing there is really starting with a script. You're going to need to have a script that's really going to be compelling. There's great resources out there for that, but there's a specific way that you write scripts when you're doing them on YouTube. The second part is the promotion. Where are we going to be promoting this, or what are we actually promoting? Am I promoting people to a specific call to action? Am I trying to just create awareness of the brand? You know, if you're selling a car, you're not trying to do a one-click close on buying a car, but maybe you're trying to get them to understand your brand and put their email address in so that you can begin a communication with them. Are you promoting an event, or are you promoting a next step, whatever that might be? But you got to think through, what is the purpose of what I am trying to accomplish? Am I trying to get another subscriber, or am I trying to get somebody to sign up for membership? So if you've got the team in place to help you figure that out and you've got that crystal clear, do that in-house. If you're struggling with, I'm not really sure, it seems like there's 5 different things that could be done, then you may want to get somebody to help you with the promotion side of this. And then finally is the placement. Where specifically is this going to go? What audiences do I want to have? There might be an audience that's at the high end that you want, but they're really hard to get at. There might be a lower end group that's easier to get, but they're not necessarily going to be your high ticket item. So you want to look at your front end offer, what am I having them do, and then your back end offer, ultimately what do I want? So again, going back to that car example, maybe you just want them to download a brochure on it, or maybe you want to help them find a distributor near you. So these are all the 3 big things, the 3 Ps: production, promotion, placement. Are you going to do that in-house? Are you going to outsource that? One or all of those things. And there's great resources and people available to help you do that if you are not sure.